Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
J. Donovan.
Jeff Fischer.
J. Donovan. Aaron Cook.
J. Donovan.
The other.
And me, Todd Novak. Hey, hello.
Hello.
How is all of us?
All of us is
How
good.
is all of us?
Us is great.
Amazing.
All of us are.
Oh, man. So we have had quite a few very combined, very strange episodes as of late. I have to also apologize. I think I messed up the master on the last one. The volume's a little bit lower than I would have liked. So for anybody who's having to turn it up really loud, I am sorry, and I will try to
Correct.
I'm going to re-put that. How is all we? Re-put. I'm on a roll already.
This is great.
Put that twice.
Yeah. So let's we've had some super good guests, and we've got really good ones coming up. I'm very excited about. We have a couple local musicians who are killing it right now, who use a lot of good effects and use them very well, and including vocal effects. So that's going to be kind of exciting to talk about how you use guitar pedals for vocals. And we also have a couple builders and some makers and some luthiers all lined up, and some other things. But first and foremost, we have to address that we are going to be saying adios for the time being to our good friend and comrade, Aaron, Old Man Analog Cook.
Okay, bye.
Old man.
See you guys.
Yay.
See you later, man.
Get out of here.
Or wait.
Dirty bastard.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's got a pretty awesome job opportunity that he's going to put his whole heart and soul into, and once he gets his footing under there, then maybe we'll be hanging out again soon.
Yeah.
But anyways, he will be sorely missed. So this is our big fat adios, fu, goodbye episode.
F-U. All right.
No, I mean like
FU.
Formally unhappy
unwed
about
to us. That's what I meant.
Sure.
Well, what we were talking about, we were going to try to find somebody else named Aaron.
Yeah.
To join.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
On Bewitched when they had the new Darren, but then you just didn't know, you weren't supposed to pick up on that or whatever.
Yeah.
We were going to try to do that. Well, we talked about Aaron.
Yeah.
Screw that guy. We'll just get another Aaron. We can get any Aaron.
Yeah.
No, you're irreplaceable.
Dime a dozen.
Irreplaceable.
Really.
Yes.
Thanks, Jay.
Yes, and you can't replace you either.
Yeah. Okay. Can't re-replace.
Good to know.
Okay. Jeff's dying a slow death over here. He's like,
Oh, what?
Dudes.
Stop talking.
Anyways,
I was just thinking we have to beat him out, right?
It's a gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
We got to beat
Blood
the
in,
crap
blood
out.
out?
Yeah, man.
Is that what it is?
Charlie. Yeah.
Blood in,
do
blood
that.
out. All right.
So we got to put cold beers in our socks and then beat you over in your back or something like that. Awful. Anyways, I don't know.
Work.
Whatever.
Very specific location.
It's the higher the marks.
Only the back.
Okay,
Hides all the
Jeff,
marks.
get to it.
Where are we going?
Get on it. Get down with it.
Start beating on him?
What have you been up to with your music stuff?
What have I been doing? I've been playing with amp simulators, so I purchased a couple more just because.
Really?
I'm listening.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Ooh, today's topic's gonna be super relevant then.
Yeah, it is. So, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. You asked me too fast, so I'll have to get back to that.
Amplitude?
No. Crazy talk. And then I know we were talking the other day about...
Wait, were they free or did you...
No, they were purchased.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
They did. I did. I only bought a few.
I want a specific dollar amount on how much you spent for these.
$30.
For the whole package?
It was a pack of 4 different cabinets with multiple different setups within each one.
$30 even? No sales tax?
It was $7 per cabinet, I think is what it was.
What cabinets are they?
That's what I just said. I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Do you know what cabinets were in the package?
No. I do not remember.
Reframe the question.
I do not remember any of
Okay,
that.
so let me dig a little bit.
Only if I had a computer in front of me.
Yeah.
Dang.
What's the name of the?
That's what I'm drawing the blank right now. So
So you can't remember. Basically, you don't have any. You
got
can't remember
nothing.
anything about.
I do know that. So I'm going to say
What
this wrong,
cabinets
but
came with it, though?
On Hammer or On Hammer, however they pronounce that. These guys left that place and started this other place, and
On Hammer?
On Hammer. Can't remember.
Is it like German or something?
Hammer on Hammer.
No.
I don't know if that was good or not.
It was,
Or
I liked it.
It was either that or Rosin Digital. I can't remember. They left. They started their own company, and they were like the two main guys there, and started this other brand doing impulses. So I'll give it a shot.
So when you decided to get these cabinets, like you were looking at your spectrum of cabinets, and you said, "I feel like I'm missing a few things." Is that what prompted that?
No, it's searching for tone.
Oh,
The keyword just popped up in front of us.
That was weird. So yeah, it was.
what?
Right below us, right below where we point to it on the TV.
No, I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Okay. Like Sesame Street, or something like that.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see what you're going.
Well, like Pee Wee Herman's
Or
Word
that.
of the Day.
Yeah.
Word of the Day.
That stuff. Kids shows. I was very specific with Sesame Street. No affiliation.
But if you're listening,
So, it's only cabinets.
Yes, cabinet impulses.
Were there any new microphones involved with that?
They had. That's what I'm trying to remember. They had 4 to 5 different mics per cab. So
Ooh, wow.
you can pick which one you wanted.
That's very cool.
so how many responses in total? So I know you had, because I'm assuming that they're replicating rooms, mic position.
It's mic positions, not necessarily rooms.
Okay.
Sigma something. It's starting to come back to me. Sigma.
What cabinets were in it?
I got 2 different mesas.
Hey, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Why do you need 2 different
I got a
Mesa
I got
boogies?
a Mesa,
Yeah.
2x12, and then I got a 4x12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good, right?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Cabinet emulator. Nope, nothing.
Okay. Never mind.
Anyways, so
Moving on.
yeah,
Moving on.
moving right along with
Wait,
Aaron-
I'm not done yet. Damn it.
do tell.
So, based on the conversation we were having last week around multiple amps, which I don't know if we're going to get into that in this discussion or not.
We might.
I
think that's involved in chasing your tone.
It is. Definitely
Oh,
is.
hell yeah, it is.
Yeah. So what I was trying to do is run 2 different cabinets through 2 different amplifiers to try to achieve that.
It is very in vogue right now.
That same effect digitally versus analogly.
Oh, go on.
So if I only had another cabinet,
Oh, except I still have it.
if I only had that other cabinet to truly do it as 2 separate
Can I
amps.
just say collectively, you guys are the worst about getting gear back.
What?
Actually, Jeff, you're pretty good. You're good. You're off the hook.
Good.
You 2 clowns are terrible at returning gear.
No, I forgot one day and one day only
What why you had Stinky for like a month,
because he didn't ask
100 times a day for it, but that's okay. You're leaving, I forgive you.
Why would you want to have Stinky for a month? I would have gotten rid of that thing.
He brought
That's
that back
my
like
own.
the next day.
Okay, so that's really cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, you could really get lost in that, I imagine.
Oh yeah, it's so different than what I thought it would be as far as matching this amp with that amp. They do not go together. Those go together. So it was really interesting as far as the different tones.
And it plays well with, you're doing this in Logic?
Actually, I was doing this in Ableton in that instance.
Okay.
You could do
You're
it in
using
both, but
Ableton and Logic at home?
I bought Ableton first, and then Logic second for the convenience factor of Logic.
Uh-huh.
it's a little bit more intuitive, seems like. Ableton has a few other features that are not necessarily in Logic that I use.
Like?
Some of the routing options seem to be a little bit easier. Like the idea of doing 2 inputs into one single track seems to work better one input into separate tracks. Works a little bit easier.
Like to record stereo? What are you talking about?
So one input.
He's going to say the same thing again.
Yeah. Into 2 multiple tracks.
Just repeat it. Yeah, that's what you do.
And I know you can do it in any of these DAWs, but it's how much effort does it take to learn how to manipulate all that stuff?
Yeah.
So some things I can do faster in Ableton, some things I can do faster in Logic.
Which one do you prefer?
I like Logic better.
No affiliation.
Right now for like the complete.
But if you're listening,
for like experimenting, Ableton, I think gives me a little bit more quicker freedom and access to put stuff together.
So if you want to just jam out, what are you using?
I'll use Logic because it's kind of just set up, and I'll just plug in, and it's usually right there, ready to go.
Right.
Ableton, same way. It's just.
But these new plugins, which one? What's in there?
They work with any type of amp simulator. So you have your amp sim, and then you basically bring these impulses into the simulator, so they can work. I'm using the same amp sims in both programs, so it doesn't really matter. Anyhow,
okay.
So that's where I ended. I'll end with that.
That's awesome.
God,
that's
if I only had
exciting.
another cabinet to truly do the test.
Yeah. If we had another cabinet, soon you'll have it.
Dude, you're moneybags. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are
Cough
you
up
doing?
some damn equipment, son.
It's your turn too.
Damn, son.
That was like a full-on attack.
It's also your turn.
yeah, you rich bastard.
Am I? Yeah. My turn. Well, I just got back from Las Vegas.
See?
Yeah. The Temple of Sorrow that it is.
The Temple of Sorrow.
So what were you doing in?
Well, I was there for.
It's an Indiana
Did you have like a
Jones
crying
movie.
game moment or something?
No, it's just Las Vegas. It's not my favorite place on the earth. It's like this. It just, I just always think of it as a temple of sorrow. Like everyone, is But we don't have to get into it. Like,
all right,
this is not a morality play or something about Las Vegas. But anyway, while I was there, I was staying at the Venetian, and I don't know if you guys see it. And there's like this.
Yeah. It's
Like,
that big Chihuly installation in the lobby.
It's kind of embarrassing that they spent all this money on.
That's Bellagio.
You're right.
I'm right.
Yeah, the Venetian's one with the fake gondolas and like the river inside.
Yes.
So the guy's singing like that. Yeah, there's the guy pushing the boat. But the reason this is related is there was another guy wearing the outfit and everything, playing this sweet old acoustic guitar, and it was nylon string, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I just kind of admired it from afar because he actually was playing it pretty well. It's a good player and decent singer. He wasn't
player?
He was just
Or he was trying to coerce you into buying a timeshare. Right?
Yeah. I didn't, like I said,
He's seducing you.
Yeah, with his guitar.
Did he give you
While his
company for
guitar
the
gently
evening?
wept. Wait, what?
Did he give you company for the evening?
No. No, so anyway, that was it. That's all. That's the
that's
extent.
the thing?
Me looking at some guy playing
for you?
guitar, but I noticed that it looked like a legit guitar. It was nylon, all nylon, and I couldn't see the brand on it. But I have about as much information as Jeff had about the
3 Sigma audio impulses.
Cut in.
Yeah.
3 Sigma.
So there's a guy that looks like, I mean,
Tom DeLonge.
or is it
Joe Quick. Oh, wait.
I'm not
the
really
dude from
sure.
Limp Bizkit?
Oh, wow, that's really cool. So if you happen to go on the 3 Sigma Audio, hey, 3 Sigma Audio, if you are listening, your scroll is crazy on this thing. The scroll speed is a little obnoxious. I
Isn't
can't.
that your scroll?
Yeah, it would.
No, that's not me. No, that's something that's controlled on,
Yeah, dudes need
on
to
their web.
put their JavaScript in check.
Anyway, Mesa, Soldano, Port City, Marshall, Hughes and Kettner, Frames Dragon, Friedman, Diesel, EVH, Carvin Legacy.
There's like 3
Engel,
pages.
Bogner,
You can
and
stop.
many more pages. Orange Mesa, Marshall, etc., etc., etc. This is pretty cool.
There's a lot.
So
Modeled, right? Is that what the
3sigmaaudio.com. That's the number 3. That's kind of dope. I dig it.
Continue on,
Okay,
Jay.
so
That's it.
gently weeping
Yeah,
in the Venetian.
Jay saw
with-
someone playing guitar in
You
Vegas.
spent all
That's
your
the extent of
You
what
spent all
I
your
did
money.
musically this week.
And
There was nothing else that happened.
Was it
besides
Elvis? Or,
that. No, it
was
was
not
way
Elvis.
cooler if it was Elvis.
You know, he still lives there, I think.
No, Kalamazoo. Dude.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
He moved.
Yeah, he lives in California. Anyways,
I thought he was cloned.
Okay.
He's been cloned and he lives
So-
many places.
yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Aaron,
That's all I got.
Aaron, do it.
Well, this one's tough. I've been actually in a musical funk lately, and it's just because I think I've been so wrapped up in this whole
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy that I have going on. But really,
It's pretty awful. For those who can't see it, it's really
He's
sad.
disfigured.
Yeah.
it's around my eyes. It's on my arms.
Is it?
Yes.
Where else is it?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah,
On
dude.
his toes.
Your
yeah.
tummy.
Yeah, that his earlobe there too.
Okay. Anyways.
But no, it's like I'm like, this has got to stop. So basically, the next thing
this your funk gotta stop.
This funk has to stop, and I sort of
That's got to be a song.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Funk's gotta stop.
I
Like
was not
Casey and the
thinking of it like
Sunshine
that.
Band probably made that or something.
But why would the funk stop? You would want the funk to go on forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the transition of the song. It goes from "It's got to stop" to "It must go on."
Yeah, I like what he said.
Oh, yeah, the nice resolution
Yeah,
into.
We'll write that tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Hit
Yeah,
it.
so
keep going.
I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. Absolutely need to do is find another location within my house to. Jeff just made a masturbation.
I did not.
Hand gesture.
I did not.
He was rolling,
Don't
rolling
worry.
dice, dude. He was
Don't worry.
find another place to roll craps. That's what
Don't
he
worry,
was.
dude.
You need to go to Vegas.
No. Don't worry. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which room.
I didn't expect that out of him. That was so funny.
Punching the
Yes.
no.
Never not funny, those things. Oh, dang it. Jeff, nicely done.
Keep going.
Okay, we almost got a
How
spit take out
do
of
you
that
not
with
know,
the
Jeff?
beers.
Like everything always goes to
No, it
masturbation.
doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Keep going. Keep talking.
Okay.
No, just some
You're not
place,
going to get out of this
I
one.
know someplace I don't need to just disappear into the basement to be musically involved.
To be alone. You need a place to be alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
I understand.
telegraph that, man. That was like,
I understand.
Okay, we have to do earmuffs for anybody listening. Okay. All right. And you. End scene.
Yeah.
Now back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need a better access to recording spot and playing spot.
Now, wait, weren't you you're building some,
Panels.
yeah. Some
happened to that?
baffle-looking
Ultimately,
panels.
it's like, okay, so basically everything that I've had going on as, some semblance of a life, that went out the window the last month.
Yeah.
Just in this sort of
Varying circumstances.
the courting thing that's been going on with me and my new job. So
Right?
yeah,
Very exciting.
So it's really not your space. It's just you need alone time.
no, I need space.
What's wrong with your space?
I need a space.
I just
Okay, is it too small? Help us out here.
Yeah. What's wrong with it?
I feel like I'm
It's just-
doing like charades or something.
because it's in the basement. It's just like away from the family.
Which
it's
is
like
good or bad?
You got to walk all the way down the stairs.
yeah, that becomes
Is that
difficult.
that is where you
does,
keep
actually.
your musical gear?
That is where I keep my musical gear. But I want it. It's like ideally I'd have it all over my house. But
For those who aren't blessed with basements, so if you are anywhere east of, sorry, west of the Mississippi, is that fair to say?
I don't know.
I don't know. Do people west of Mississippi have basements? I mean, I know that. I grew up in California, so we definitely don't have basements. So when I got here, I was like, there's a whole other house underneath the house. It just
Depends on the water table, right?
Yeah.
So Florida, you don't. Yeah, well, like
Right.
whenever you're close to the ocean.
Yeah, we
you
got
don't.
kind of lucky. Yeah, I dig it. I like having a basement. Anyways, back to you.
so yeah, music has been absent in it. That needs to stop right now.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you going to do to stop it? I mean, to stop it being stopped, which is starting.
How am I going to start?
The funk has to start, son.
Starting it. TBD.
Is that a new plug-in or?
That's the next time he comes back here.
Right.
Yeah.
To be
No. No.
deranged?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So nothing.
Yeah, so basically, you took like 3 or 4 minutes to say.
It was a pity party for me just not being able
Right.
to do the
No,
shit that I want
we
to do.
feel bad for you.
I get you.
We feel bad.
What
I
about
understand. What do you miss most? Maybe let's ask that.
bring out the feelings? Let them explode out of you.
Tell me more about your childhood.
Tell me.
Let's see this.
Aaron's laying back on a couch right now as we pry into his deepest, innermost thoughts.
Is
Yeah.
it playing? Is it jamming? Is it writing?
It's
Is it
writing.
recording?
It's completely writing.
Okay. That's cool.
I miss it.
All right. Well, get back on that horse, son.
I will work on it.
Hey, Todd, what is new with you
Again.
this week?
Hey, well, so I got 2 things. One, we adopted a double bass. Yes, a string double bass. I'm super excited about it, and I've been having a great time.
Who's we?
Playing that? What?
Who's we?
Well, my kid. So me.
So you bought it for
What do you-
yourself.
What do you mean by adopted?
Mean I'm renting it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
So
a
now you
3/4.
understand why I talk about it all the time.
It's great. I love it.
Big 3/4. Okay.
Yeah. So naturally, I'm like, well, let's see how Stanley Clark plays this.
Wait, it's a half or a 3/4?
I got Marty jamming that, man. It's great. I love it. It's 3/4. We'll get to a half probably this spring or summer. 'Cause she's really tall.
All right.
Wait.
Half? No, you don't want to go down. You want to go up.
Wait, she has a half, right? It's the smaller one. It's a kid. Is it a
Yeah,
kid?
sorry. My bad.
You have a half.
Couldn't
it
go to
goes up
3/4.
3/4.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
It's still big. I mean, the thing's massive.
Oh yeah.
It's a real pain in the
It's
butt.
There's one above that?
Yes.
There's a full size. too.
Yeah, full
Yeah.
size, like 8 feet tall or something
It's
ridiculous.
like the orchestra. Yeah,
Maybe not 8 feet tall. It's really big though.
So is that determined by size? Which
Yeah.
one you play?
Yes,
pretty
height.
much.
You want
Like
you
how
want
tall?
it at a certain height, whether you're sitting or standing. And the extension, the pole peg, what do you call it?
what?
The thing that pops out of the bottom.
The popper?
Pin.
Red Rocket. The pin. Yeah, the pin only extends like about a foot. So if you have the pin extended and it's not at the right height, then you got to go bigger. But the thing is, little kids have smaller hands, so they can't get this. Anyways, more information than anybody here needs to know. Anyway, so I have been enjoying playing that, and that's gotten me. It's more accessible in some ways than electric bass. I know
Just
that's
because
weird
it's
to say.
acoustic, or-
It's acoustic. It's sitting in our corner. We got a nice stand for it, so I can just grab it and go boom, 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 and then
it's-
put it back.
And it's not super loud, right?
It isn't, but it's a weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, and I've never played one before. Played bass plenty, but with the electric bass, it's weird. It's like it's not as intimate of a playing experience, which I can only describe as that when you're playing stand up, you're like hugging it, and everything's like really close to your face, and you know it's.
And you feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it reverberate in your body. It's really neat, you know.
Yeah.
And you can get what I think what I like most about it is, the little sonic nuances that happen.
Harmonics.
Well, harmonics is part of it. It's not all harmonics, but whether you get like even when you're doing like a ghost note, it sounds totally different than on an electric bass or something. Anyways, just cool little things. You're like, what happened? What is this? It's like, I can't do anything wrong because I don't know how to do it right. Right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that needs to be on a T-shirt.
I was gonna say
I can do no wrong because I know no right.
You find it easy to? You find it easy to play?
I do. I'm like, whoa! I dig it. My kid's like, this isn't fair. I don't know how to play, and you're totally playing it really good.
so.
No, that's for
you have no ear, is what you're telling me.
Well, I mean, just physically, it's like I think I tried playing J's one time. I was like, so.
Well, that's because you have dainty little hands.
Know, that's why I was wondering if
Jeff has dentist hands, but Jay's got.
Jay's got skull. I feel
he's
like
got
Popeye
thick little. I mean, they're strong, right? You have to have strong hands to play stand up. I mean, that's one thing you're going, whoa, I really gotta.
That's what I was wondering.
Press on.
I could crush your throat right now.
Yeah. Well, if you could get it around my throat, that's the problem.
Here we go.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so that's number one. Number two has been what is going to lead us into our topic of discussion. I have so after getting a new amp and a new cabinet. My straight clean tones out of any guitar I'm playing are different, but to a point where like I needed to get more nuance out of my tone. So our main topic today is
tone.
That's a big broad thing. And I think specifically what we're just going to kind of tap into, there's going to be more episodes on this, no doubt, because this is, one of the biggest topics in, playing music. But I think specifically dialing it in on your amp and how else you might get around doing that if that's not cutting the said mustard. So I can lead off. If that's okay with
cut the mustard.
You
want me to cut the mustard?
Go ahead.
Do it. Okay, so I think one of the things that I've been experiencing because this amp in particular is such a neutral sounding amp. It's incredibly, I don't want to say clean, that's not it. It doesn't have a signature tone. Like
it's not exaggerating any tones.
Yeah, if you plug it into a Marshall, it kind of anything you put into a Marshall, it kind of sounds Marshall-y.
Yeah.
Put it into a Vox, put it into a Fender. You could close your eyes and go, oh, that's coming out of a Vox or a Fender or a Marshall for the most part, right? Now, granted, there's a million other amps out there. I understand that. What I'm playing right now has no signature to it, and that's a new thing for me because I've always had an amp with some sort of a signature or some sort of model or something like that. Yes. I felt very Jeff Goldblum right there. Yeah, yes. That was good. Yeah.
You got a second career in you.
I know, right?
Impressions.
I told him earlier today. He's really good at picking up people's nuances.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we were actually making fun of Jeff.
Yeah. Well, all the time. Anyways, so back to me. So immediately I was like, okay, these I've got Celestion vintage 30s in there, 8 ohm and a twin cabinet, and they have a more distinct sound or maybe lack thereof than other amps that I've been playing. So it has a slightly darker, it's a little bit warmer, and I've been playing predominantly stuff that it has a little bit more sparkle to it. So as I've been trying to get this, I've been fiddling around with the bass and the treble and everything. Now, on a straight amp, tube amp head, if you take your treble and your bass from 0, flat, and the more you push it up, it acts like a boost. So if you start to peg out your treble and bass, everything gets bigger and louder, which is not necessarily changing your tone so much. You are to a certain degree, but you're kind of just accentuating what is already there. So I figured I need to figure out a different way to do this, because I need to get a little bit more sparkle for some of the stuff I'm playing.
Are you getting that your current tone shaping is different, right? It is not a.
It is so like
increasing,
right?
It's more of a. Is it a decreasing type?
No, it's not like a Vox. So it's like
Okay.
Vox, you really can only, kill the treble. It's like it's bizarre. I don't.
Yeah,
I like it, but it's just that's an interesting way to approach something. The clean channel of Vox is your only tone knob, except for the new ones. The newer models have a top boost channel too, and that top boost allows you to do treble and bass. But your standard clean channel only allows you to roll off the treble. And so I needed a little bit more bite, a little bit more treble bite for some of the stuff that I'm playing with the Telly. The Telly sounds amazing on it, but just need a little bit more
Twang, a little more twang.
A little more twang. And so I thought, okay, so I started having a discussion with Jeff, my speaker mentor.
Who, that guy?
Jeff Fischer, yes, sitting across from me.
Yeah.
Looking quite nice with suave hair. You got good hair today.
Thank you.
And I was like, okay, so
it's a lie.
What if I take out one of the Celestion vintage 30s and put in like a Jensen or something like that? And he looked at me very cross-eyed, which I understand, but
So
he
you
was
have a
tolerant
problem.
of my.
Who Jeff did?
I have a problem without my glasses.
Yeah. But it's kind of the same idea of running two cabinets, and I thought that might give me a cool mix of tone, right?
This sounds familiar.
Two speakers in the same cabinet. Lots of people do it. It happens all the time. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm starting off with, and I brought this in. I started researching. I had one a long, long time ago, and an equalizer pedal, and 6-band EQ. And I haven't had one in forever. So I started researching the crap out of them, as per usual. And I ended up with one that I think is doing the trick really well. So I'm going to start there. And then I can dial on my tone, which is cool, because then as I switch, from one gig to a different gig where I'm playing something different, then I can just do it on my EQ, which is what they're for. Yeah, so ask me what I got. Somebody.
What did you get?
Well, funny you should ask. I got.
Hey, what did you get?
I was going to get the MXR 6-band EQ. Looks cool. It's kind of like, matte black and a little red sliders on it. But I was like, EQs just seem like, it's like utility pedals in general. It is hard to drop money on a utility pedal. Like, oh, compressor, there goes $125. What? Noise gate, noise.
Right.
Oh, right. So I was like, I really don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on an EQ. It just does one thing. It's not making me sound like some, it's not like some cool, like, look what this pedal does. So what I did, and the obvious one is the Boss, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
And if you get a used one, I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts on an EQ. That's the only thing you got to watch out for.
A lot of open areas for beer and
lots of susceptible
crevice stuff.
And I had the Boss. That's one I used. So.
Yeah, everybody's got that on their board, right? And the MXR just came out. I think they have a newer model one. And it looks really cool. And I was like, this is moderately priced. I think I could do this. But what else is out there? And so I got mine for, I think it was about $36 on Amazon. It's a Joyo. And there's the chatter out
How
there
much
in the
sales
guitar
tax did
world.
you spend on that?
How much what?
Sales tax.
I was like prime. I got a free shipping. It was like the whole thing was under $40.
I'm talking sales tax.
I don't know, like $2, $3, something. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was cheap.
That's cheap.
You have a lot of sales tax questions for some reason.
Are you an accountant? Wait, what's
Is that your new job?
Yeah.
Accounting?
So, anyways, I got it, and it's incredibly like hefty. Very well.
Man.
It feels like it's made like a tank.
like if I hit you in the head?
That
with
would
this,
hurt,
you
yeah.
could really.
The sliders have
still for a
good
second.
resistance, so they don't feel cheap. Like they could just flip and flop all over the place. Set it, forget it. What up?
LEDs.
Yeah, those light up,
That's neat.
and it lights up red. They're cool.
Have to do this.
Yes, it has a clicker. I can't turn on my TV. It kind of looks like an old TV remote, actually.
It does. It's like the old school.
Really old ones. It's got, it's pretty straightforward. It's matte black, which is cool. I think with a lot of the Joyo pedals, they can kind of look, a little lackluster, kind of dumb almost, like, wow, you didn't really give two craps about what that looks
try.
like. Yeah. It's like they did it in like Word or something. They got some clip art and threw it on there. But this is a cool pedal. I'm really excited about it. Here's my big problem with this thing. For some reason, they assumed that people who buy pedals don't put them on pedal boards, and they've got a giant rubber foot like a Boss pedal. So now I got a D giant rubber foot this thing, but to boot. The battery cover is taller than the base of where if you pull the rubber off is. So I'm kind of unsure of how I'm going to mount this thing successfully, but I'm sure I can figure it out, and I'm sure loads of other people have too.
Can't you just attach it to the rubber part?
You can, but that just feels really dodgy to do, man. I don't know. We'll see. So it's heavy enough. I mean, honestly, it would probably be fine if I just have a little bit of Velcro on it.
So you have used it?
I plugged in. It works great.
So have you?
No extra noise. I didn't get any extra,
Since
odd color to it.
This was about tone, not necessarily about the pedal.
Yes. So back to tone.
Let's go to tone.
Yeah. So it totally helped. What I actually did, since I just needed a little bit of sparkle to it, I didn't need a radical shift. I just popped up the 800 and one. I think it's 1.6. So that just did it.
Right into the guitar's wheelhouse. I mean, am I right?
What the hell?
Yes. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, anyways, it worked really well. I just needed a little bit of push. And then, so when I do the other stuff, so I have an arch top that I play to emulate acoustic stuff. And so I'm just going to give that a little bit of a mid bump, just a touch, just a little bit. You touch too much. Anyways, so my question, so have you guys messed around with EQ pedals at all?
Yes.
And you must use one a lot.
So not so much anymore, but one of the gigs I used to be in, I would play upright and electric, sometimes even in the same song.
What?
And so what I did was I used to strap my upright to a dolly. I had like a bungee
dolly,
cord.
like a real
like a truck, can truck. Like
holy crap!
And that would hold it upright so that I didn't have to pick it up. And so on
stage,
you're saying right, like you do this all the time too.
No, I've seen a lot of bassists do it.
Yeah,
I
would leave it on the dolly. Dolly holds it up perfectly. You can tilt it a little bit.
The upright.
Okay.
So for some reason, I was imagining.
Yeah, I was going the other way too.
No, electric.
He changed
putting an electric guitar on a dolly.
Yeah, like why are you putting an electric?
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I.
Okay, now I can understand.
Jay, why are you bungee corded to the dolly?
Yeah.
Jay.
No, so let me.
Okay.
So the upright would be bungee corded to a dolly, and then I'd wear the electric, and then I would run both of them to an AB ABC box, and then out to the amp, and then
ABY.
Well, it had A, B, C. It had 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomato, schmeasel, schmazel.
Whatever. Yeah. But so the point was, because we would do these things where we'd play like this metal tune and then switch into a jazz. Like we'd have these like 10-minute long songs, and then we would switch.
This was Frank Zappa.
That was a kind of a no.
Okay.
Yeah. Back when I used to play with Zappa. Back when I used to like kind of want to be Zappa. But the point was that the upright pickup was a lot softer than the P bass that I had, and so
what was it? It was a
Pierre Joseph's.
PAs?
I fiddled with my Pierre Joseph's.
Yeah. Was it the piezo?
Piezo? Piezo?
Piezo.
Hey! Oh, God. I want out of here.
Every time.
But the weird thing was, the upright, not only was it softer in tone, but it was super like echoey, bassy. Yeah. And so I actually had to roll. I used the EQ to roll off the bass on it and boost the volume a little bit. That was it. Okay. So then I used the Boss, an actual bass EQ.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it.
That's neato. Okay. So, what about you guys?
I can answer kind of quick, because...
Didn't you just answer?
Well, that's not what I... Well, I guess you're right. I did kind of answer, didn't I?
You can go again.
I'm done. I'm totally done.
Hey, Jay.
I used a bass EQ.
And you liked it.
Yeah. So I answered it. You're right. I'm done. I'm off the hook.
Yeah, if you want to add more to it, go ahead.
No, I just used I got stuck where I don't want to say stuck. I just relied on the amp. I got really used to that Mesa Boogie amp, and the tone was like, I loved it so much that I didn't really do mess with it. I kind of would. What I loved about the Walkabout was, you could really push it until it was just kind of falling apart, when it just kind of almost started to fall apart. And that's when I really loved how a bass sounded through it. And the harder I'd hit it, the more I could make it break up a little bit more and get that growl.
Yeah.
And it was...
Well, that's an interesting point about tone, since you were saying, yeah, I'm trying to get this specific tone on my guitar, and how loud you play, how loud your amp is, has such an effect on that. And like when you were practicing, are you practicing at like your real volume, or are you practicing at in-home volume? Because that changes your sound quite a bit.
Initially I'm doing it at in-home volume, but I'm doing it sort of like in-home plus, like to try to go like, hey, what's the tone really doing here? And to be honest, it was really true from a low volume to a higher volume. I didn't get a lot of color differentiation there.
There always seems to be like a threshold, like once you cross it, which is not necessarily too loud, right?
Right.
That it's like, then no matter how loud you get it, here's the character of the amp.
Right.
Well, too, specifically because they reach that point where they start to breathe nice, right?
Yeah.
And there's that moment, and you had tubes in your bass amp, right?
The preamp was tube, yeah.
Yeah, so somewhat still part of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such an interesting...
But that's interesting, too, because that has made me... when we had Hank Donovan on, he was... Hank Donovan of Rattlesnake Cables, he was talking about using basically like a D power.
The undertone, is that?
Yeah, he was calling it took. So you power up your amp to get that breathing, but then you're using a pedal to kind of like kill some of the power that's going out. I was like, that sounds really interesting. I do want to pursue that. We're going to be interviewing Alchemy
Underdrive.
Audio pretty soon.
That's
Underdrive, I think it was something like that.
Underdrive.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if they do something like that, but also might be something I might be interested in building.
There you go.
Oh.
I also found it interesting from tube versus solid state, or doing like impulse responses and stuff like that using solid state amplification, full range.
Yeah.
Same thing with recording to a certain degree, but more so with when you're trying to get a true live in-room sound through digital.
Yeah.
that volume level is critical. Like as soon as it reaches a certain level, it starts to sound better, and it seems like it has to be a lot louder for some reason.
But that's where
digital.
like a master volume really comes into. I mean, the Vox had things that I loved and hated about it, but one thing I did love was that I did have a master, so I could push the actual power in it, and then be able to roll off with if I was in the second channel, the top boost allowed me to do that better. But anyways, mine doesn't have a master volume. It's like it's a straight power amp.
Yeah,
power amp.
Definitely. So that thing's got to get somewhat loud to start feeling really good.
Yeah, and when I did get it really loud, damn, the thing sounds good. And I don't know about you guys. I know that some people are like really into messing with their actual tone knobs on the guitar. I just, that's not my bag of chips. I do that a little bit, so I'll roll off the volume and tone just a touch on basically everything across the board, but I don't fiddle with it.
To me, it's always been pickup selection more than volume and tone. I mean, it's like let the guitar have its character, let the amp do the next phase of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot with volume as well lately.
Really?
Volume it has a big effect.
Well, it does.
More so than I would ever have thought.
Mark is he played the pedal that I built. I brought it over and he played it, and that guy's just an absolute master, Mark DeCenzo with of Circuit Music, a local studio in town, and that guy's a master with the volume knob. It is insane how much tonal range he gets just with the volume. And it was like, some people got that, some people don't. It's just like, some people's fingers sound amazing on a guitar and other people's don't, Have you been successful with that?
I mean, it's still a learning curve, right? Just like, it comes down to what you're trying to play.
Yeah.
Playing with your pick or fingers also has a big impact on that too.
Or if you're Aaron,
Or if you're Aaron.
Whatever else you're playing with.
I don't know what that means.
We can talk about it again.
But go ahead.
So as far as like on instrument tone, the only time I've ever used it was playing bass for you guys when going from the Clash to the Cash.
Right.
I turned all the treble, most of the treble way down for Cash to get more of that thud thump, because otherwise it was too piercing of a bass sound.
It sounds too modern.
Yeah, too modern. So like switching pickup was one, like going off front and then turning the tone way back and getting that old school thud, country thud sound.
Well, go ahead.
I'm done. Go ahead and say something.
How did you pluck?
With my thumb.
Well, there's like down.
Yeah, I couldn't play with my fingers because it was still
too dainty.
It was too dainty and too punchy still.
Yeah.
So like the thumb got that.
But to be clear, you're playing out of a jazz bass.
Yeah.
Which
there's definitely a little more.
Yeah.
Mid-range and treble.
But were you like also palm muting a little bit as well? Or?
Sometimes, depending. Yeah. Every once in a while.
Yeah, not like slap, more like a thumb pull off.
Right. Yeah, it's
right.
Right.
Like the old way of playing a bass. Like when they first started playing bass.
Yeah.
They put the little finger
they didn't
catcher.
know any better.
They put the finger catcher under the high E, or the finger brace.
Hold on.
And then you play with your thumb, and then they switch
Maybe I
that.
need one of
like,
those.
Oh, people are not playing like that, and they started doing it the other way.
I like playing with my thumb.
Neato.
Yeah, you do.
So I want to hear some more tone stories. Aaron, I know that you're doing a lot you're doing a fair mix of live and not live shows, but live actual analog and digital. When you are trying to set your tone for those, where are you more comfortable playing with that? Are you more comfortable sitting in the computer and going like, I can totally dial everything in, or outside of that?
So you might be misunderstanding what I do.
No, we understand what you do.
No.
Just the idea that I want to answer that question for you.
Oh, go ahead. I want to see where this goes.
When you're mixing or mastering, recording, the frequency selection is so different than if you're doing it live.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
You're basically trying to eliminate as much bass as you can that still makes it sound good.
Right.
And you're also accentuating a lot more high end and treble than you would ever think you would.
Yeah. So, basically, then why don't you just ask it that way?
Because you're doing probably more in that.
I'm kidding.
We've done some comparisons.
Yeah, but
messed around with this.
But even since those times that we were doing that, I started experimenting more with what to do with the signal before it even got into the software. So, it's like looking at limiting or compression or, just
digitally or analog?
Yes. So it's basically before it hits the amp emulation, looking at ways to clean up the signal or do different things with the signal before it starts getting manipulated. But basically, as a rule of thumb, how I approach it as a rule is, basically using those emulation plugins and dialing it up like you would in a real analog amp, and get your character that way. But then, so it's like, you just kind of live with it until you get everything else tracked. And then, when it comes down to mix, then you throw on it like a channel EQ and compression and things like that. So, so it's like, first, I think you're building it to get character. The next step is to figure out how it fits in the mix.
So you're building character so you can actually play along, and the way it sounds really entices you to play and play better.
Yeah.
So you got to get a good tone.
Yeah.
To encourage you to play. Right. And then you can fit it into the mix later.
Later. Yeah. And then, it's like one of the next things that I do want to play with is reamping. You familiar with the concept? Is everyone familiar with the concept?
No, I'm not.
I don't. So basically, okay, let's think of me recording my guitar into a DI that's basically, or interface that's going right into my software. Basically, then you're building a loop out to outboard gear. So basically taking that dry signal that you recorded in digitally, sending it out onto another track that's actually where you're miking a real analog amplification unit or amp, if you will.
Okay.
So then basically
AMP.
Yeah, what you got? What you got is basically that digital signal, which then you can manipulate with software, and then you're also getting an environmental audio signal, right? So it's like that's where you can also dial in some other sort of nuances with the tone, where by way of what kind of room, what's your mic placement, things like that. So then you can actually layer in those two tracks to get something totally unique.
I found playing with the room, like you just mentioned, so like in GarageBand, the room and just the mic selection, oh my gosh,
so different every time.
It's radical. It's hard to go from, I know how my amp sounds. I know how my amp sounds when it's mic'd. I know how all my different guitars sound like through different amps. Then you get in, if you do record, you're like, it's almost like starting over.
Yeah.
Not knowing anything. It's for anybody who is starting to experience that, dig into, whether it's GarageBand or Logic or Ableton or whatever. It's like, man, it's like that can be really daunting. And you think you got it right based on the knowledge you have of live, and you put it in and it just sounds like crap.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's, once I get even past like the reamping thing, just to try it out. Eventually, when I have all this money, because I'm just going to make so much more money.
Yeah.
Right, Jay? Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. But, it's like actually building up like a decent mic locker. So it's like I can get like the good set.
A mic locker.
Well,
nice.
What do you want to call
that's
it?
awesome.
a mic.
I know what you're talking about.
Shoebox. That's what I use.
So I mean, it's like, I could try then miking an amp with a Sennheiser and an SM57, and then playing with like different ways to cancel out the phasing. So what if I'm basically making the mics point in perpendicular directions, just to get different kind of combinations.
Yeah, well, that's how you would normally you'd throw like a little condenser and a ribbon or something over the top.
Yeah. And then again, I really got into this whole notion of using multiple tracks for one instrument, if that makes sense, just to kind of build like a very dense but very unique and sort of character to whatever you're recording. But I have a long ways to go, a lot of exploration, and a lot of dollars that I need to spend.
I think it'd be really interesting. I mean, if you're kind of talking about, we're talking about some intricacies within recording, but you were talking earlier about getting new cabinets. Like, what if it wasn't new cabinets? What if you were actually just swapping out speakers?
In a real cabinet, you mean?
In
a virtual cabinet?
In a virtual cabinet.
Well, that's kind of what that option is.
But you're still locked into like some big generalities there.
I mean, they do offer a lot of that as well. Like, you can get this single cabinet with 15 different speakers.
Oh my!
That were recorded. So,
Madam.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I mean, we kind of drifted from live tone into recording tone, which is okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
There's many different.
We all rock different things. So okay, that's going to keep going forever. We can talk for another hour on this, but we'll have to sort out where we're going to pick this up later.
Brain's such a scrambled mess right now.
I know. All right, so let's duck out of this so this thing doesn't get too crazy long, but I definitely will be picking up getting Tone
Part 2.
More Tone Part 2 coming soon.
Maybe we need to get people with really good tone to tell us how they got their really good tone.
Yeah, well, we hopefully will.
Look at you using your brain.
I know.
Jeez.
And anybody listening, we always welcome your thoughts and questions and responses to the episodes. So if you have any for this, love to hear them. We'll bring them up. And so let's go to our top 4 to take us out of here. And the top 4 of today is, what is your favorite, like, little, I mean, why did I have to qualify it? It's not a qualifier.
I don't know.
Why did I say that?
Qualify it.
What is your favorite trick thing to do while you're playing?
Now just to be clear,
we're 2 bass players and 2 guitar players.
We're talking technique, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we?
Okay, just...
Yeah, well, what else?
Boy.
What are you thinking?
I love the old guitar throw over the shoulder trick.
Oh my God, that's like
I know. I didn't mean like stage antics.
That's still
a trick.
No, that's still a technique.
It can be.
No.
And honestly, in my last band,
that was part of the stage show.
You've got to be kidding me.
My bass player and I spent the weekend practicing in his backyard.
You are kidding me.
I'm not.
You've seen there's a video with like got a bajillion hits of fails.
Oh yeah, epic band
which is
fails,
amazing.
which they're so much fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, he had a crappy guitar. Oh, I almost said something different. But so it's like we were in the backyard, so it ultimately didn't matter if we messed up. So because of that, it's like we perfected the technique.
Wow! So you guys
both
Kiss,
and then we both bought locking strap locks,
right?
Or
like winger or something like.
Where you guys coming up with these bands?
That's what they did. That's what all the hairbands did. That's where like
Malmsteen
licking the guitar,
Malmsteen
spinning
was the guy that did it.
I thought everyone did that.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways,
were you a forwards or backwards flipper?
Ooh.
Or both?
I was forward.
Yeah. So
I mean, honestly, I think backwards is more BA than the other way.
Backwards is cool.
Yeah, super cool. But anyways,
Jay's practicing.
That's what we're
visualized it.
That's what we're not. That's not what we're talking about.
I would like knock myself out, or knock my teeth out.
Might. All right, so we did clarify then.
Yes.
Playing technique.
Yeah.
Trick.
Yeah. What's a little trick that you like that you kind of like if you're really in the pocket and you're jamming, you kind of
know what it is.
What's your little thing that you like to do?
For me,
so if Zach Wilde was here, like he's Mr. Pinch Harmonic. Every other note's got a pinch harmonic.
That's a good one, though.
Oh, it's a great one, but dude, lay off the pinch harmonic, Mr. Wilde. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know, man.
Muting.
He's got one. He's gone.
Muting.
Yeah. So like when I'm playing,
I was going to use that one.
Too bad.
Keep going.
When I'm playing, like when it's a real pocket groove or something on bass.
The way you're holding your hands right now, it's like you're muting
a ukulele.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, I'm starting to do it. I'm trying to imagine it becomes a real rhythmical thing, and it's almost, I think of it as playing a drum beat,
right?
Like
for bass. That makes sense.
Playing it, and like all those little times you mute and you don't play a note, but when you hit the string,
ghost note,
and thump it.
I love ghost notes in bass.
Palm and it makes it like have a rhythmic quality. That's the trick.
I thought you were gonna do like a triple slap, like a Victor Wooten thing.
No, I'm not a good triple. I'm not. I mean, I can do all the. Yeah, a lot of that is like playing drums on.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Okay. Anyways,
all right. So that's me,
Aaron.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because when I was playing bass a lot, I did have the triplet, and so the triplet with the thumb and the and pop. I mean, that was sort of like a little thing that I got somewhat decent. The other thing was. It's more the percussive nature of the bass guitar, but it's like if I'm just doing like an 8th note sort of slap and pop on the strings, but I'm muting with my left hand and then also using so it's like I'm barring with my index finger and then using the rest of my hand to add another sort of percussive quality to it. It's like so many cool rhythms that you could do. Those were sort of my things as a bass player. As a guitar player, mine is just like basically.
I don't know what that is. What's an edelet?
So it's like so it's like 3 notes on one string.
Yeah.
Starting from my pinky, going down to my middle, going down to my index. So it's just like. I'm plucking it once and then just, hammering off.
Oh, yeah.
Just like,
okay. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the only way I could get anywhere.
Is there a lot of that in like two-tone ska stuff?
Well, no. I mean, it's just like when I was soloing and stuff like that, or doing any kind of crazy lead or improvising on a lead.
Right.
It's like if I just wanted to get something like really fast and
very staccato sounding. Yeah.
Right. So you're doing triplets and guitar spins in ska.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a good show.
Fantastic. Good show. You're looking at
I wasn't trying
seriously.
to be Real Big Fish or,
thank goodness. Yeah.
I wanted to put my own thing.
Yeah, I dig it.
Okay.
And I like the fact that you played a flying V for that too.
Yeah. Two-tone.
That's awesome.
Two-tone flying V.
Yeah, I
get
you.
It's a mix smash of everything in that band.
I like it. You're breaking barriers. Okay.
Do Jeff Goldblum again.
No.
I think the one thing I always
palm
back to, it is palm muting, but not necessarily palm muting. So there was an exercise I used to do playing, trying to learn alternate picking and getting it super clean and fast. And it's called playing in force, where you are
like
fourths,
like the number
fourths versus fifths.
What do they consider that? An ordinal?
Sixths.
Is that an ordinal? That's something Jay would know. I feel like an ordinal, like a fourth or third.
Yeah, you're closet theory guy.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I don't know.
We need one. We need a closet theory guy.
Google ordinal while Jeff's talking.
Ordinal.
Yes.
Ordinal fourths?
Ordinal force.
No, just ordinal.
Force.
Ordinal?
Give me the direction or the definition of ordinal.
Ordinal. Keep going, Jeff.
It's like north, south.
Don't be bad radio.
Yeah. So anyways, as I was trying to increase my speed on this alternate picking, somehow I was able to pick 3 times. So if you imagine your finger on 2 strings at one time, and you're picking the first one, and then the second one, and the first one again really fast.
Oh, wow.
And I would go up and down in force.
Yeah.
Why can't you say that? Force.
Or inverted fifths.
I didn't do, no, they're force.
You sure about
Because the way I would pick it,
Okay.
I could do it super fast. So when you throw in the palm mute with that, it sounds really fast and really cool.
Yeah.
And you're descending or ascending. So it's like, that was my thing.
I love it.
I think I can still do. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to be really fast at that.
That's cool.
It's all right.
I like to do power chords. I'm a power chord fiend. Love my power chord. Love my power chords. Or bar chords, whatever you want to call them.
No, there's a difference.
Yeah, there is, but
no, huge difference.
Okay.
Let's clarify what you
major,
mean.
Right.
They're major
Or minor. They could be minor.
Or neither.
Yes.
Power chord.
Okay. You're right. I'm trying to backtrack so I don't sound like an idiot. I tend to power chord and bar chord a lot.
Okay.
Okay, that's where I play. I do mostly rhythm. So, in doing that, what I like to do is get an open string ring wherever I can.
Yeah,
I love that. I grew up learning how to play guitar via Kim Thale and Billy Duffy.
Yeah, with the low strung
and
SG.
Both of those guys had that extra quality. Like, what are they doing? There's something in there that they're carrying through, and it almost not to the point where it just sounds like a drone, because I think that can get a little bit monotonous, but enabling something like that to ring out against something fretted, I think is a really cool tonal dynamic that happens.
Well, it's like that Weezer song, Say It Ain't So. It's like the second chord. It's like that last weird note is totally that, right? So like the first 4 notes are an A flat major, but then it's like they're not barring the whole way across the fretboard, so you get that open B, and it's like, God, that sounds disgusting, but so cool at the same time.
Yeah.
So when you say power chord, are you a 2-note power chord or 3-note power chord?
I do 3. I'm a 3-fer.
Yeah, 3.
I started out with 2, and then I was like, I like the extra, and being able to roll your pinky on and off, or just it's nice. I like it.
Yeah,
it's more comfortable too, because then you're not going.
Well, I always played power chords very weird, because first I started on bass in my whole music thing.
Yeah.
So it's like if I was ever playing a double stop, the 2 frets is kind of a far distance on a bass compared to a guitar, right? So it's like first note would be index finger, second note would be my pinky.
Yeah.
And so that's how I would play like a 5 double stop. So it's like whenever I would then go on guitar, when I switched over to guitar and started playing guitar in bands, all my power chords, I would rarely use my ring finger. It was always my index and pinky.
Now, would you do 2-note bar chords then? Or power chords? Or were you actually grabbing the other 3rd note with your pinky?
See, pinky.
But that's what I was saying. Like when I said power chords and bar chords, I'm using 3. I mean, it's to a certain degree, whether it is technically correct or not. There's very little difference between my power chording and bar chording.
That's what
fair.
I'm saying. That's how I do it too.
You might be having your hand in the shape of a bar chord, but you're actually playing a power.
Yeah, but my first finger is basically holding down everything.
Everything, yeah.
Almost always.
Yep. Okay.
So they're in.
And you're only hitting 3 strings, right? Or are you hitting the full spectrum?
Sometimes both.
Yeah.
Usually the low. I'd kind of do the fingering.
You're doing
right?
you can't do this without making your ukulele thing.
I like to do the fingering and just kind of get under like this.
Ukulele. Tiny bubbles.
Okay. All right. Aaron.
Yeah.
We
was great.
sorely miss you for a little while.
It's been fun, and
I mean, at least the rest of the last couple minutes, and then we
then
won't give a big F. But anyways, hurry back to us. And anything else? Goodbye, you
Aaron.
dirty son of a...
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please join us on Facebook.com/groups/guitar knobs and tell us what you think and share your stories and guitar stuff along with ours. You can also find us at twitter.com/guitar_knobs and also at our website at guitarknobs.podbean.com.